Coda?
Was not
I
the
heard-
case.
Just
I heard
sorry,
top
1
lists,
second.
not top lists. That really threw me for a loop.
This
for a
is the
second.
weirdest painted sisters.
Just
I've
watch
ever
the
seen.
big topless neckbeards duking it out.
Really quick,
Sorry.
I'm gonna jump in. So I finally figured out what is breaking OBS's audio on the podcast, and I fixed it, but we didn't have any audio until about 30 seconds ago.
Fuck.
Hey.
The good news is I know what the problem is now, and I know why it didn't work on the Halloween recording, and I know why it wasn't working at the top of the stream. And I know what to keep an eye out for so that it doesn't happen in the future. But hi, everybody. Welcome to Blackstone Fortress. We've been here for 15 minutes and you haven't heard any of it. So we're going to jump right back into talking about the Warhammer Grand Tournament and try not to steal too much of Coda's momentum so that he doesn't just pass out at the desk. But yeah, if we're talking about stuff and you're like, that doesn't make sense, this is why.
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
No.
We are
I'm glad we caught it.
so efficient. And
it's
so
fine. It's
professional.
fine. As I was explaining, Warhammer, or actually not just Warhammer, Age of Sigmar Kill Team, they had their Worlds tournament this past weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. From what I understand from people that live in that area, one of the only things that came out of that area that was any good. But I digress. One of the cool things was we saw a lot of different armies. They weren't just the same top tier armies running into each other, which even those can give a interesting matchup because at that point it's really the general and the dice, but it was cool to see a whole bunch of different armies.
Yeah.
The big takeaways are, as I have stated from the beginning of 10th, and also since the change of their detachment rule, Astra Militarum, kick ass.
Oh yeah.
They are the runner-up in this championship.
All right.
New Creek
The-
models incoming. Love it.
They're going to get a huge line update, and it's going to be sweet. And I'm hugely looking forward to seeing what that codex can do, and very glad that I didn't get rid of my Astra Militarum army for my World Eater army. Instead, I'll run 2 really good armies for the first time in my life.
Congratulations.
Enjoy while it lasts, I think.
Exactly. So the final game for Warhammer Championships or World Championships was John Lennon and Folger Piles. Mr. Lennon commanded an Astra Militarum army. Mr. Piles commanded a Adeptus Custodes army. Yes, I did say Custodes. You know, the list that everybody clowned on for the better part of the year.
Correct.
Good old custards.
The final score was 66-61 for the Piles.
The piles of what?
Custodes. Anyways, he wins. The big thing that made me happy about that, it was a legitimate Custodes list. It wasn't the Null Maidens with a Rex. It's everything you expect to see at a Custodes list. In fact, it's Talons of the Emperor. It is Custodes and their Sisters of Silence.
Okay.
Yeah, because Talons is the joint detachment, right? You want
It is. In fact, the only allied unit that he brought was Inquisitor Draxus, and I think that was more for the not interrogation. Anyways, for something or other. I'm not a Custodes player. I don't know why you'd bring it.
I'm reading through the list on the Warcom website right now.
His opponent in the Astra Militarum brought a good, like what you would expect to see out of a Militarum list. Like, none of this is surprising. None of this is, game changing.
Sure.
But it was fun to watch if you watched it. I'm pretty sure there'll be VODs all over the internet.
There's so many tanks here.
welcome to the Astra Militarum.
I know. I'm excited.
No, the thing that I like seeing is the Tempestus Aquilons. So that's the new kill
Ooh.
team.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. The jump pack guys. This is
And
at
I say
4
I'm
minutes of 10.
and I say I'm excited with them because I love when unique units like that have a purpose. They sort of shoehorn Kazarkin into kill team. Like, yes, they're the elites, but anyways, it's a
Mhm.
cool list. I'm a huge fan of the system that's set up for the World Championships. Anybody who wants to take a look at it, go ahead. It's a really good, or not go ahead. Go ahead. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it. I encourage people to take a look at it, even if you aren't into the competitive scene. The watching, it's always fun watching people who are the best at something do something. That's why professional sports exist.
Yes.
And I don't think that is really any different in Warhammer. If you like watching, or if you like playing Warhammer, watch someone who does it at like a near savant level, and you'll learn so much. Um, now on the flip side, America won. Boo.
Yeah, let's go. Give thanks.
Canada took second, though, which I'm really impressed with.
Canada took second. Italy took third.
Who's number one? We are. Who's number second? Who fucking cares?
Ouch.
So the thing that I like is, so when you're interviewing, or when they interviewed the champion, he said it was the most insane event he ever played. He had 0 easy games, which, I mean, whether that's true or not. He then goes on to say round 3 was a tie. The shadow round, he only won by 3 points in the last activation. In round 5, he won by 2 points. So,
Wow.
like, none of these games were blowouts
Yeah.
for which, I mean, that's the fun of it. So yeah, I encourage everybody, whether you think you're world champion caliber or not, in the new year, do a tournament.
Do a tournament.
Find one at your local gaming community. Make a vacation out of it. Go somewhere for a weekend and ignore the entire city that you're going to visit and sit in some sweaty room with 64 other people and roll dice.
Insane.
It sounds riveting. I can't
It
wait.
was like on the app that organized. That was one app that organized this shit, by the way. It's like down here there was like 3 or 4 different like golden ticket events over the past like 2 months. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like it's at least if you're in the area I'm in, it's pretty prevalent. It's always something to kind of find. And also, I don't know if you. I mean, like I know some of the best Coast pairing app. Like you could join online tournaments too.
Yes. So it's still in its, I won't say infancy, but it's a niche group within a niche hobby.
Mm-hmm.
The online scene, but they exist. But yeah, no, go do a tournament. Even if you're not a hardcore competitive player, it gets you into the community. Tournaments are where you will go to meet people. They are the one place that is guaranteed to bring out people who like this hobby. No, because like you could go into your FLGS and be like, "Hey, what day is your Warhammer day?" And in most cases, they have one day that'll bring out half a dozen to a dozen people. But a tournament can bring out 64. Like it really is a difference that is huge. And I don't know what it's like in other areas, but near me, most tournaments are licensed because we're all adults here.
Mm-hmm. Nothing better than Tipsy Warhammer.
And well, you haven't really played Warhammer unless you've played the drinking game of Warhammer.
Oh my god, I've only ever played.
So the drinking game of Warhammer is whatever can I finish, I get to add as terrain.
Oh Lord!
Wow.
Whenever I finish it.
I don't know if these tournaments I would be going to as much if that was the case. You know, I've had the best tournament I've ever been into. It was the back of a warehouse. It was basically just equipment everywhere, and then it was
This sounds
fantastic.
really sketchy.
No, it was fantastic. They had the
This
best.
was a tournament?
Remember that
Yeah.
Mark is in Florida. Their standard for I'm gonna lose all my organs to harvesters is like
It was like
way lower.
it was like this.
Okay, yeah. If I
like,
went to a warehouse for a tournament, I would not be home the next day.
No, it
Yeah, I
was-
would be
I'm
gone.
sorry, Mark. You starting your
Awful.
sentences with a like,
It was
not
awesome.
convincing.
It was so good. It was like this like friends club of like a dozen guys on the same team, all brought all the mats, all the terrain, all the shit. It's all tournament, like up to snuff. And the place, the warehouse, wants to like have this as a space to do this, so they handmade the tables, so they're perfectly sized. Everyone got rolling carts. They provided everyone with a rolling cart. It was
Why
amazing.
don't they do that in Canada?
And
Or
and this
any-
guy named
anywhere
Castillo
else?
said that he would take you to Mexico City and he'd pay for the flight. You just had to bring something back.
His
Oh,
Black
there you
Belt
go.
fan was just around the corner.
Hold on, boss. Let me finish my beer can real quick, and then I can talk to you.
That actually does sound super cool, though.
That was
No, I'm a huge supporter and of the competitive scene, even if you're not competitive. Mostly because, from my personal experience, the narrative scene has a horrible way of being unbalanced, which drives a lot of people away. The competitive scene isn't perfectly balanced, but that's the one they're trying to fix. I'm looking at stats from Worlds. Demons did well. Guard did well. T-Suns are up there.
really.
Bottom of the list are World Eaters, AdMech, and Imperial Agents.
AdMech still
Or
bad?
AdMech.
I thought they got a lifeline.
This is highly competitive. So if there is,
yeah.
this would be the tournament where I'd say if your army has a flaw, it's going to get exposed.
Right, that makes sense. Okay.
So like World Eaters, which usually they clean house in most tournaments because, I'll say the average player doesn't bait out World Eaters like a professional would.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Imperial Agents are at the bottom with 31% win rate because they're not really an army.
Poor Imperial agents. They look so cool though.
They are a made-for-narrative army. I'm sorry, and they are so cool, and just like the narrative scene, so broken.
It's like, and I feel like a big hurdle. No, never mind. I would like. Okay, so sorry. Let me find my thought here. Imperial agents. I feel like they really don't have a lot going for them in that case. If they're not good, and your units look so weird, and everything's unique to paint. It's just. I want them to be good.
Imperial Agents, like I said, are a made-for-narrative army. If you want an army that you can bespoke into literally whatever your heart contends,
Yeah.
that is them. It's the same. Like I say, the Eldari are the same way. The army lore is built around the fact that Eldar have special units for every situation.
Hmm.
The problem is on the table, their good units are good at enough things that you don't need their specialty units.
Damn.
You don't need the covert striking scorpions when you have a bunch of Wraithguard that can just delete things.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good weekend for tournaments. I mean, the World Championship sort of took precedent over everything for me. But yeah, I don't know.
Nice. I'm personally afraid of armies I can't just rattle can paint. So, yeah.
I have a few. I'm going condensing my thoughts here. I'm going to a tournament in March, and it is a golden ticket tournament.
Ooh.
And I'm taking my World Eaters, so I'm finishing my World Eater army by then.
All right, let's go.
Nice.
It's the first one of the group, I think. Or maybe it's always. Never mind.
The problem I have is there is some monotony that I still need to paint. not the jackals. I got those done, but I still have like 15 berserkers to paint. And my wonderful dad has offered to help me.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Except that he is leery of his skill in comparison to mine on painting. So he doesn't like. I'm going to get him to base coat everything, and then I'll go through and detail paint. Not that I don't think he'd do a good job. He doesn't think he'd do a good enough job. And so
He's already. I'm sure he's a great
We
guy.
believe in you, Limerick Dad.
well, and like I think he's a great painter, but the reason I bring this up is because he also likes. I'll call them rattle can armies with the custodians and the Grey Knights.
Yeah.
All silver, all gold.
Yeah, 1 can of paint, some wash on it, perfect. That's all you need.
But no, it's so yeah, that's my plan is to get it all done. I'm working on Angron right now.
Angro.
So while we're sitting here, I was checking out tournaments coming up in my area. Even though my Knight Tyrant doesn't have a upper half to his shell,
So
and
funny to me.
I need to save some scratch to be able to stick things on him. But there are 2 coming up in my area that I didn't know about that I find very funny. There's LVO Can't Go, which is the same weekend as LVO, and then in March they have Adepta Can't,
I can't.
I love that.
which is the
Instead of
same
Adepta
weekend as
Can't.
Adepticon.
Oh my god. Like,
That's
if you can't come,
fantastic.
stay home with us.
Yep.
Bring your beer.
So is this just what happened with people that had the counter prom party?
Yeah, pretty much. They all ended up Warhammer nerds making. Well, if I can't go, we're just gonna figure it the hell out at home.
What happened to all the blackjack and hookers though? I think they got lost in translation.
You say that like they're missing.
Where is this tournament again?
Local to me. I'm not gonna dox myself. Nice try, hacker.
Oh,
Let's just put it this way: there's maple syrup, and the hookers are wearing toques.
They also
Hey,
all
Alexa,
happen to be
what's
polar
your favorite-
bears. Make sure you take cultural sensitivity training.
Oh, hold on. I have to say this because I'm pretty sure I just used a word that Mark doesn't know.
shh. We can edit this out of the recording, right?
Nope.
Beanie.
So a toque is the correct name for a beanie.
And a beanie is a little hat with a hell of a propeller on top.
I know what a beanie is.
Are you sure about that?
I know what a beanie is.
But do you know what a
think Mark
toque is?
Doesn't know or does know.
I know.
I really want to do his little lore segment because
I
we
know what
can't
it
be
is.
on here super long, and I
I
want
just didn't know what a toque was.
Oh yeah, Mark, you were gonna try and convince us to not ruin your little trivia game tonight.
I would like to try if everyone. It's not gonna be impressive by any stretch of the imagination, but
Well,
Well,
I
don't
was-
sell yourself short.
I wanted to give something a little. I wanted to start cook something. I want to cook something up.
all
See
right.
what happens. So hi, my name is Mark.
Hi,
I like.
Mark.
All right, guys. I feel I feel like I'm a small fish in a big pond of really big Warhammer passion here at Blackstone Forges podcast, and I want to contribute to it in some way. So when I first started, rolling with these guys, like, oh, I'll keep up to date with lore and shit. I'll be passionate to talk about all the stuff that that's been going on for 30 years, all that shit. And I'd like to try dabbling in a small little segment of my own that maybe we could have semi regularly, where I try to pose a couple semi-quiz questions to our ancients here in the chat. And
Ouch.
Calling old Mark?
it's a term of respect and endearment.
Mhm.
My
It was like worse to you.
Blade God ancients, my battle brothers. I'm just a lowly. Anyway. So, in this particular first time around, I wanted to try and pose a couple questions to everybody, and maybe keep track of who gets it right. score points, and then as we keep doing this, I'll keep track of everyone's points, and then like next year, I'll just say who has like a couple hundred of them or some shit.
Oh, I gotta get good. This is unfair.
Colleen is gonna be my litmus test, my baseline. As long as half the questions Colleen can get, they're right where I want them to be.
Oh dear.
But this
Yeah,
is
Colleen, you get a 50% pass fail max.
I know. That's why I'm scared.
Yeah.
I don't think
So
I can get that.
So I've got no apparatus set up for this, so we're gonna go for it. If it's first time around, everyone will, I'm gonna pose a question to everybody, and you're gonna think of your response. Don't copy someone else's answer, and then be truthful about what you answer. And then if you get points, great. It's gonna be based on how other chapters of Space Marines are kind of depicted or characterized in different lore places. I am lucky enough to have money to spend on Warhammer Plus and have access to something called the Vault, which has, I think, hundreds of old issues of White Dwarf in it.
It has all of them.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. So I went through it in my spare time for everyone, and picked 5 different little passages of different founding loyalist Space Marine chapters.
I'm sure you hated doing that.
It was a little more tough than I thought. There's a lot in there. It's like, why is Lord of the Rings in this? I don't understand. I thought it was a 40K magazine.
They do a Lord of the Rings battle game.
I know now. I know more now than I knew then.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. But before we do that, I was gonna put Colleen on the spot real quick.
Oh,
just for fun. Colleen, how many of the founding loyalist chapters could you name? There are 9, I believe.
Oh,
You
okay.
can do this.
I
I believe in you.
almost cheated because I was actually just gonna start looking up the Space Marine chapters to like familiarize myself, but I'm not gonna do that now.
This is the start.
I trained you for this.
No,
where we
I
get
literally, I don't like. This is how green I am. I don't even know what's like a founding chapter and what like. No, wait. What does that even mean? I don't even know what's like the OG ones and what's not.
Try. Just try. You have to just try.
This is the part where we introduce
Ryan's
the
talked
audience.
about this. Oh
So,
my goodness.
do we give her hints?
No.
You
No.
seemed really excited about that.
Give us one. Give us two. Give us 2, Colleen. Two
Give
to
us
start.
all of them, as many as you
Yes.
can find.
Okay, as many as I can. That's not gonna be all of them. Okay, I remember. This is gonna be rough, guys. I remember talking about Iron Hands
Okay.
Oh,
with
okay.
Ryan.
Yeah,
but
that's one.
Oh, thanks. Okay. I was like, is that, because they reminded me of Admech. So that's the one that's like the flesh is weak. Is Iron
Yes.
Hands,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Correct. That's one.
Okay, that's one.
It's one more.
Portico.
I'm sweating. Okay.
That's where you can take it.
They're yellow.
Well, isn't that Custodes?
No.
Custodians are
Custodians are
gold.
gold.
Oh, they're gold. Oh, okay. Yellow. Oh. What? Oh, I can't remember.
No. Colleen, no, I'm so sorry.
Something fists?
You're
No.
close. Yeah, you're close.
Something to do with the fist.
Something to do with the fist. I need that on
There's
a t-shirt.
iron hands. Is there like iron fists as well? I don't know.
Oh
This is
no,
so
it's fine, Colleen. It's fine. You get half a point to start, Colleen. First
no.
half.
So
Colleen,
now
you have played
for
through the entire campaign of the Space Marine 2 video game, Warhammer 40,000.
Are all of those? Okay, wait. Are we talking about successor chapters or the OG
No.
chapters?
Founding
No.
chapter.
Oh,
Just the
I thought
founding
we were
one.
talking about successor chapters.
No,
and I'm
no,
like, there's
no,
like
no.
500.
No,
okay.
no, that's what
no
you're saying.
nine
Okay, so I
nine
know there's
loyalist founding
s-
chapters.
Space wolves, salamanders.
Oh, where
blood
was this? Where
angels.
was this?
Okay, I thought we were talking about the successor chapters.
I'm
Sorry.
so
She
sorry.
literally
Wait, hold up.
heard
Does that
on the
mean that you
spot,
thought
and
Iron
her
Hands-
brain went blank.
Does
No, there
that
was
mean you thought
something-
Iron Hands were a successor chapter?
No, that's why I was so confused because I was gonna say Iron Hands, there was a successor chapter of Iron Hands that we were talking about. Ryan and I were talking about it, and but then I just said Iron Hands, and Ryan's like, "That's one." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
That's
So,
what.
okay, I know there's Space Wolves, Salamanders, Custodes. No, that's the okay.
Sure,
Blood
three so
Angels.
far. 4. That's 4.
What have I said?
Salamander,
You got
Space Wolves,
Iron Hands, Salamander, Space Wolves.
Iron Hand is.
Oh, you're all saying them in different orders. Iron Hands, Space Wolves, Salamanders, Blood Angels, Black Knight, Black Temp. What is it?
They are not a
Not.
first founding
No,
chapter.
it's the White Scars.
Yeah.
No.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
one of them. That's one of them. That's 5.
Oh, I'm sweating even more now.
You had one or
Yeah,
the
you
half
said
of
one
of them.
earlier. Yeah.
Yeah,
There was like gray. No. I'm thinking of like different games now, like Dragon Age Grey Wardens
no,
or something.
no, it's okay. I don't want to torture Colleen too much. But
Those
just
are
to-
the those
Yeah.
are the ones I'm remembering off
She's
the top of
gonna
my
want
head.
to, though.
So now,
I-
just so that our
Colleen, you missed the big blue boys.
I don't want to
Ultramarine for Ultramar.
now,
Those-
so
like, everyone
just
knows
Come
those.
on,
I
they're
I
on
want
all
to
the
jump in
marketing.
here and I want to demonstrate to our listeners the gap in knowledge between Colleen, who is the newest to the hobby, and Coda. Coda, I want all 9 trader chapters, please.
Trader chapters: Iron
Yeah.
Warriors, Death Guard, Alpha Legion, Luna Wolves, then turn into the Black Legion, Thousand Suns, Night Lords, Emperor's Children. I don't know how many that is.
That's 8. You've missed one.
Okay.
What one have I missed? What one have I missed? Oh, World
Well,
Eaters.
Oh, then you
Isn't,
missed 2.
like-
Unless I didn't hear Alpha Legion.
Oh, I
Alpha
said
Legion.
Did
but
you?
I was
Okay, I
gonna
just missed
say
it. That's my
Alpha
fault.
Legion.
Yeah.
Do we ever really know if they were traitors?
We're getting
They're
off
traitors.
We're
So,
getting off.
Okay.
No,
This is.
some of them are traitors.
I'm going to break people's brains right here.
Uh-oh.
God.
There
I'm
was
waiting.
a rumor engine that came out
Oh yeah,
It has to
Alpha
do.
is fair.
with Alpha Legion.
Alpha Legion.
Alfarius might be one of the next Primarchs to come back.
Alfarius is dead.
Nope.
Well, Alfarius is, Omegon is not.
No.
Was it clones or some shit?
I thought
Alfarius.
they went 100% confirmed that Lehman Russ cut him in half.
No.
No, it
absolute
was not.
BS.
It
It was
wasn't.
Dorn.
It was Dorn.
It was
sorry.
Dorn.
Dorn.
And Dorn believes it was Alfarius, but Dorn doesn't know about Omegon.
So you're saying it's actually Omegon and Alfarius is going to come back?
Yes.
But that was
I
And
the
thought
the
reason.
reason-
Omegon was
in
away
the
fighting
book.
somewhere else, and like he felt the other
He
half
felt
of him,
Alfarius
like,
die,
die
yeah.
or whatever.
I was going to say, and that was specifically from Omegon's point of view.
So the reason I think Alfarius is the next one to come back is in the last Beckwin book, they find an Alpha Legion who is able to take on one of the best swords fighters of the Emperor's Children, not Lucius, but one of the other ones, and hold his own. And then when he takes off his mask, the other guy, the Emperor's Children, says, "You're supposed to be dead. This can't be happening," and he runs away. Beckwin goes to him and says, "Who are you?" He says who he is. She goes, No, who are you really? And he responds with Alfarius. Now, everybody who's an Alpha Legion stan goes, well, they all say that. No, when asked who they are, they all say the exact same phrase, I am Alfarius. Which is
True.
not what this guy says. This guy just says, who are you? Alfarius.
Do you guys hear that? It sounds like tinfoil crinkling.
Anyways,
I will say there's also a strong chance it could be, can't remember his name, but it's Solomon something, who was the last guy. He's in a Black Library novel that got published recently, and he had the Pale Spear in that book.
Oh, maybe.
So it might be him.
But either way, that
I
spear's
want it to
making
be
its way back.
Alfarius. I really do, because that would maybe mean, like, oh no, we might get Alpha Legion minis, and oh no, all of a sudden I'm not collecting Space Marines anymore, and I have a new 2,000 point army to build.
True.
Oh no.
Struggle is real.
Oh no!
Can you tell the person that has to share financial accounts?
I was
with them?
gonna say you can tell who writes the budgets in that household.
No, Ryan does. That's why we have new paints on our desk right now.
Oh boy.
I'm not complaining.
Ryan writes the budgets. That's why he knows he has a 2,000 point
why
army.
That's why she said, "Oh no." He's like, "Oh, no more treats for me."
Anyways, Mark. Next question.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yes. So I just wanted to get that through. You know, Colleen, if you want to pull up the list of the loyalist chapters, you
I
can
just
go ahead.
I just wanted to
looking
ask
at
a
it.
quick question. Proceeds to cause 10 minutes of anarchy in the podcast.
I'm so sorry.
Why? Welcome to Blackstone. That's what we do
It
here.
was great.
Yeah, I'm gonna. If it's okay with you, Colin, I'm gonna do these little passages, and I'm gonna ask everyone to think in their mind what chapter they relate to, and I'm gonna ask you first what you think it is,
Okay.
and then we'll go through everyone else's
I'm
answers.
not
and then-
ready. I'm gonna try to be ready.
All right, we'll do this. In no particular order of any difficulty or anything. I'm just gonna go ahead and start. I pulled these passages from various White Dwarf magazines, so sit back and enjoy the lore. And I also pulled out all the names because the names are too easy if I left them in. He saw the enemy ahead, a scattering of Xenos-lined infantry filling the air around him with a howling volley of fire. He grunted as shots glanced from his steed's armored fairing, sending glowing shards of ceramite whipping past his head. He knew well that the accursed Tau guns could put a round clean through a Battle Brothers armor at this range, and that something more than a headlong charge was needed here. To his left, one of Perfectia's massive pipeways rushed past, its rusted enormity a blur in his peripheral. An access ramp sprouted from the pipe's flank. Perfect. Bellowing his tribe's war cry to the storm-racked skies, he roared up the ramp, its mass shielding him from the flickering fire of the foe. His bike smashed through the brittle railing at its peak, and suddenly he was aloft, wheels churning through the air as lightning tore the clouds above. His bike slammed down into the tower with a horrific crunch, armor crumbling and bones breaking as its sheer bulk crushed two of them into the floor. His roaring chainsword took the head off a third, and then he was through, throwing his steed into a long skid as he wheeled to face the survivors. Dust rose in a cloud as he gunned his engine and roared back towards the reeling Xenos, his feral grin a white slash on his blood-splattered face. Keep that image in your
Love
mind.
Well,
a Space Marine referring to a bike as a steed.
Yeah.
I was getting real confused.
Yeah, I had a guess about 3 words in, and then I had it confirmed about halfway through.
Yeah, so what do you
Aw.
think, Colleen, from the list of 9 you have to choose from? Which
Well-
which founding Space Marine chapter do you think that encapsulates?
I don't really know much about like the fluff of these, so I was gonna say with like the thematic like the battle cry and the storm, I was gonna say Space Wolves, but I don't think they have bikes. So God, I don't even know which ones do have bikes.
There is one that has a lot of bikes.
Oh,
Correct.
I'm gonna give her 10 seconds.
It's so much worse.
I hate countdowns. Yeah, let's say okay. I'm just gonna do a wild guess. This is much thinking for a wild guess. Let's say salamanders. I don't know. I'm guessing, guys.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
Okay, Ryan, what's your answer?
White scars.
Gentlemen,
White Scars.
White Scars is correct. White Scars are known for their thundering
Vroom.
headlong charges on
Mounted
their
combat.
bikes. Mounted combat.
And also, he said the
Okay.
word tribe. The only loyalist faction that uses tribes is the White Scars.
So
Oh, interesting.
they are a 40k version of Genghis Khan and the Mongols.
Yeah.
Oh, good to know.
I mean, considering that their Primarch was named Jagatai Khan.
Well,
Oh.
no, he was Jagatai. Khan was a title.
Yeah, but still.
Little known fact, they also almost went traitor.
Damn it.
Really?
Oh,
Nearly.
Some of them.
They
some
had a
of them
meeting on
did.
their homeworld.
All right.
Can I tell you how hopeless I am?
Oh.
Do you need to tell us, or have we figured it out at this
Oh.
point?
Well, because you went I thought about it. It was confirmed, and it was the Steed and the Tribe, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went. Perfecto was a campaign that the Raven Guard and the White Scars fought against the Tau.
This fucking guy. This fucking guy.
Okay, I thought that might have meant something, but I had no idea what that
It means
word
something
was,
to
so-
literally Coda, and I
This is
guess
like-
Mark.
Okay.
These are
It
like
sounded
indexed
like-
articles from like 2011. What the fuck?
How do you guys all have like photographic memory? This is insane.
I need you to appreciate, Colleen, that about 2 weeks ago I turned 36, and I have been playing Warhammer since I was 13.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm 32. How old are you in grade 5?
I don't know.
You'd be like 11, 12?
Yeah, so grade 5 was when I got my first set of models.
Nice. That's what I'm saying. The esteemed blade guard ancients of our time, passing their wisdom on through the ages.
And then Ryan's a Primaris Ancient. We're not sure how those words go together, but I guess it works.
Yeah, you guys are gonna get put in dread.
Hey, technically, I got my first Warhammer at whatever point you guys got bored of the first set that you had and let me play with it up by myself.
All right, let's go to the next passage. I feel like this one might be a little bit easier for Colleen, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, don't say that, because it'll make me feel worse.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, okay. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. For long, bloody minutes, he fought his way through the Tyranid onslaught, his ire building to a fever pitch within his chest. He leapt from one crawler to another, soaring in great flaming arcs through the foe. Suddenly, he felt a tugging on his back and glanced over his shoulder to see two winged creatures tearing at his jump pack. Bringing around his bow pistol, he turned one into a spray of purple mist, but the other sank its fangs into his harness. Suddenly, he fell. His jump pack lurched away, ripping free and spinning off into the swarm. Then he was falling towards the track-turned madness below. He screamed in rage as he fell, filled with fury that he would suffer such an inglorious death. Then, with the clang of ceramite upon flat steel, he crashed down upon the roof of a lysite crawler. Everywhere, fanged horrors were trying to prise their way into the gargantuan vehicle, while armored turrets swung back and forth, their drumming firing, tearing at the swarm. He hurled himself into the foe. His chainsword howled and gurgled in bloody arcs as it bit through the Xenos meat and bone, while he emptied his bolt pistol into anything that moved. He was senseless to anything but the slaughter of his enemies. He paid no heed to the barking turrets or their gunners, who saw his rampage in mute terror from behind armor glass firing ports.
Again, like
Okay.
6 words.
Okay,
Well,
what's that
okay.
psych around?
Yeah. Okay. I feel like it's Blood Angels because of the whole like red haze anger.
Is that
So
your
that's
final
what I'm-
answer?
That's my final answer is Blood Angels.
Gentlemen,
It's Blood Angels.
it is Blood Angels 100%.
I was gonna say, I guess the rest of us don't get to guess, but you know, good.
I was
There
just
were-
excited for Colleen.
There were only 2 chapters that have experienced a major Tyranid invasion.
Oh my
There is
God.
that too.
Ultramarines and Blood Angels.
And the Ultramarines don't tend to leap with jump packs foaming with rage.
Not an approved action.
Generally,
I mean, Chiron's an exception. So
I mean, they all seem so angry though. This is literally about just war. So how do you not get enraged when something's about to kill you?
the
That's
whole
right.
no, I mean, not everyone.
Okay,
goes
wait, no,
into
no,
an
no.
instant
Hold up.
Red haze. as
Hold
soon as
up.
They're mad.
We need to stop for a second because Coda's about to go into 10,000 years of history, and we need to get through this whole
You
segment.
know what?
Yeah.
You know what?
Am I wrong?
No, I was just going to be very simple about it.
No, you weren't.
This is like what I hear on an hourly basis. Okay, well we're gonna have to start from the beginning if you ask a question like that.
No,
Because it needs
Okay.
context.
this one does not need context. It's 2 very simple ways. Blood Angel Black Rage is emotion and psychosis.
Mhm.
Everybody else's quote unquote rage, except for the Black Templars, isn't rage. It is psychopathic hatred. Like
Oh,
the idea, like the best way to describe it is they are they hate something so much they want it to die, but it's not like frothing at the mouth. They're not gonna like they won't
they're not, like-
sacrifice. They won't sacrifice their honor to kill something.
Yeah.
The
It doesn't control them.
right.
They're still like in control.
Unless
The-
you're Chiron.
The Blood Angels lose it,
They're rabid.
and the
No,
reason
that's
I say
the Space
Black,
Wolves.
and the reason I say that the Black Templar are different is because their rage is religious.
Okay.
It's not emotional or like you know how there's there's a difference there. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yes.
There-
Yeah, that does make sense.
Okay.
There's a
context.
there's zealot there.
Zeal.
Or zeal. That's the word. Yeah.
Mark, next.
Yeah. Yes. This one's a bit shorter and sweeter, but it is a bit harder. So we'll see what happens.
Oh.
A little bit of a nuance here. The steel pine door opened. 2 diminutive individuals walked in, their movements so light, as if they were gliding across the floor. Their features were invisible beneath thick green cloaks and hoods. He recognized them. He'd never seen one before, but it was undeniable what these creatures were. They stood in silence, one on each side of the door, which they closed. "Is it time?" he asked. They did not respond. He wondered if this was some kind of test, or if they were probing his mind for some unknowable way. "Look as deep as you like. I have nothing to hide," he thought to himself, not knowing if there would be any reply. I would
Okay.
love to see Colleen take a stab at this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe I just latched on to the one thing that I thought made sense, and I'm not sure if it actually is correct. If I heard green cloaks, and I'm like, salamanders are green, so
Salamanders are green.
that's what I'm going with. This is salamanders, but
Okay.
I feel like I wasn't listening hard enough. And I missed things, and it wasn't talking about. Oh, I feel like I'm wrong.
No, it's okay. Ryan, what do you think?
Dark Angels.
Did somebody
Then-
say fallen?
Chris,
It's the Dark Angels.
Oh,
Limerick,
It'd be the Dark Angels. The first.
Why is it-
they're green too.
why is it the Dark Angels, guy?
Because those are the Watchers in the dark.
Watchers in
Here.
the dark.
Yeah.
Little Roby boys.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's
I don't know
I
why
mean, I was
um,
literally showing you these like last week.
shoot.
Oh,
That's
that's
the character in that is what's his face.
I do. It's I have a Pharaon or a Farron. Is
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
the guy. Yeah. Oh, you know this one.
I vaguely remember reading this one.
God damn it, these guys. I'm gonna have to try harder next time.
It's. I mean, well, this scene is
No.
very, I think, intentionally reminiscent of the first time that, oh fuck me, now I've forgotten his name. The leader of the Fallen, meets the
Cypher.
Watchers. Yeah, the first time Cypher meets the Watchers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 'Cause I don't know a lot about
Well,
Dark Angel lore personally.
Hold on. Cypher or Luther?
Luther. Sorry, Luther. That's the one I meant.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, no,
What?
Cypher doesn't talk, so
Cypher does talk. He just is different.
well, yeah. Cypher's neurodivergent.
But yeah, what are the Watchers in the Dark, guys? Real quick.
They
Alien.
are natives of
Oh, they're the
Caliban,
little
right?
guys.
Yeah.
They're the little
They
They
people
were the
were-
ones
that
that
like
you said look
they
like
were the
Jawas.
ones. Weren't they the ones that found Leon L. Johnson? Were like, this is
Yeah.
our god. Yeah.
Well, not
okay.
really. They didn't
Oh,
do
okay.
that, but
no,
So
that
they
exact
found him, they took
tone
care
and
of him.
intonation. Yeah.
So my best guess, and this is really just a guess, is that they are another beast of Caliban. The difference being is that they're not bloodthirsty animals.
they're clearly like creatures of the warp in some way.
Well, yeah, but so were the beasts of Caliban originally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's yeah.
Okay. All right. I got 2 more, a little bit longer, so we'll see. See how it goes. All right. The bridge was awash with noise. Officers bellowed orders and demanded information over the thuds of heavy ordnance and the relentless binaric chatter of servitors. His fist shook with fury. What are your orders, my lord? The shipmaster continued. With each passing minute, more of the green lights of the tactical display turned red. Each marked the loss of an imperial vessel along with thousands of brothers. Did you see this in the flames, old man? He thought. Situation report, he voxed. Our casualties are heavy. Tactical situation is precarious. However, reports of successful sabotage on several rocks. Fighting continues throughout all enemy attack asteroids. We may claim more for the Emperor. They had stripped the planet of all its naval assets for this final stand. The risk was immense. Nothing less than the total disintegration of the Orc fleet was acceptable. The captain's apparent death left his task in his hands. No battle worth winning is won easily, he thought. For all their casualties, the battle was not yet lost. Hope remained. Fight on, destroy them all, he said.
Oh,
Little,
gosh.
little bit harder, a little bit harder.
That,
There- There's a
what?
couple. There's. I wanted to make this one. I wanted to have one. Maybe this is a curveball that'll get some of the guys in here, but you take a crack
So-
at it, Colleen.
You specifically said founding chapters only, right?
Yeah, correct. Let me show this is a founding chapter, right? Yeah, it's founding
Mm.
chapter.
Okay, because that would have really got me.
Yeah, so there's only 9
Um,
choices. There's no repeats, if that helps.
Yeah, that does help. Oh. This is a tough one. Well, they're all tough, let's be honest. I don't know. It just sounded like some interesting dialogue about some ships getting blown up, and this guy's like, this old commander dude sucks. I could have done a better job. But so I don't know.
Okay. We can we can gauge the room real quick. Ryan, what do you think this one might be?
This is a tougher one for me. Specifically mentioned Orc rocks, and
Yeah.
those were first introduced by good old Ghazi at Armageddon. So my thought is a chapter that was involved at Armageddon, but I also don't know a ton about which chapters those were. I also know the Space Wolves have clashed with Ghazi, but that doesn't seem characteristic of a Space Wolf. So I'm going to go with Imperial Fists.
Okay. Chris, what do you think?
It's the salamanders.
Limerick, what do you think?
Okay, so did you see this in the flame, old man? Could be
Yep.
two things.
Oh, right, that part.
Oh.
It could be salamanders because fire,
Yeah.
or it could be space wolves because shamans staring into the fire. Armageddon had both those chapters there. I'm thinking it is space wolves.
And you would be correct. It is Space Wolves.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought he was too controlled.
No, I
completely forgot about the whole staring into the fire thing.
well, so I assumed that it wasn't space wolves off that line because the space wolf shamans, they tend to talk about like throwing the bones.
Yes. The big thing that it sounds stupid. Salamanders aren't like
Superstitious.
they're not how do I word it? Because like fire is a big part of them, but that's because their planet is volcanic. It's not because they hold any importance to fire itself.
Yeah.
So like the word bearers, they talk about knowledge being like enlightening, and that's why they have the torch there. But no, it's fire is a thing.
Yeah. This is a passage from A Psychic Awakening, Saga of the Beast, and is probably the only passage in there for Space Wolves that doesn't mention like, Grimstone or honor or the acts of Lehman Russ and all that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this is a little bit of nuance. I'm happy with this one.
Love it.
The other side of it is also space wolves will be the only ones that could have thousands of brothers on any ship.
That's a good point with the great companies.
Because
Oh.
technically they're the only ones that are, well, not the only ones. Them, the Black Templar, like they aren't compliant. Everybody else caps out at 1,000.
Mhm.
Well, the Dark Angels are.
The Dark Angels technically are compliant. They have successor chapters.
That are totally separate and definitely just not all the same.
In the same way that the Imperial Fists and all their successor chapters have the last Shield Bolt protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
Anyway.
So last one, and it should be a bit more easier, I think. It's a bit wordy too. He lay on his front, limbs splayed and helmed head turned to one side. He had slowed the beats of his hearts until they were but imperceptible, engaging his Susan membrane to stimulate a state of near death while forcing his mind to remain conscious. 2 vox pips sounded in his helm, a subtle signal from his brothers. As though echoing down a long corridor, he heard footfalls around his prone form and the muffled chatter of Xenos tongues. A foot kicked him in the ribs where a dull clang of metal on metal, though his numbed body felt nothing. Another vox pip, then a second later, the thunder of bolter fire filled the air. Instantly, he willed his systems to awaken, his consciousness surging to the fore as he surfaced from deep, dark waters. His twin hearts thumped, then pounded as they flooded his tissues with hyper-oxygenated blood and stims. Within his helm, his eyes snapped open, and a crackle of augmented adrenaline shot down his arms. He leapt to his feet, ramming through his first victim's back before the Tau even realized their danger. He ripped outwards, Xenos blood jetting as his prey was torn in half like damp parchment. Spinning on his heel amidst the rain, he swept low, scything the legs out from beneath another of the foes, sending the screaming alien crashing to the ground. With yells of alarm, the Tau began to turn back towards his new threat, but he knew they would not be quick enough. The trap was sprung, the prey was caught, now all that remained was the killing.
Oh, I remember something being said about fighting against Tau earlier, and there was like a couple that stood out. I can't remember what those are anymore.
It's okay, it's good. It's all, I'm not repeating any chapters, but,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, but what do you think? What do you think, Colin?
I gotta be like super honest. Nothing in there caught my attention to lead me toward any particular chapter. So,
Ryan, I feel
but
like you've
that's-
failed in your attempts to educate.
No. He talks about this a lot. I just don't have. a
Talking
good-
about and educating are two different things.
Let's put it
It's-
this way: a lot of the time, we like to just sort of like chat together before we fall asleep.
Yeah.
And Colleen finds the sound of my voice lulling,
Oh,
I guess.
It's comforting.
So it helps her fall asleep, but also she falls asleep halfway through me explaining anything, and eventually she starts snoring, and I go, okay.
Yes.
The big brother in me wants to make so many comments. I just,
Please don't. Please don't.
anyways,
This is a
But yes,
wholesome
I
moment,
do
Chris. Get out of here.
snore. I do snore.
I'm not about you.
No,
So,
Anyway,
yeah, it's okay. We can. It's okay. Thank you for doing your best, Colleen. I appreciate you letting me put us on the
Oh.
spot.
Shot the dark.
thanks.
Try it.
Well, shot in the dark. Let's say Iron Hands. I don't know.
Ryan, what do you think?
I also can't remember who Limerick said fought the Tau, but based on the whole trap and stealth tactics thing, I'm gonna go with Ravengard.
Chris,
Oh,
Ravengard.
Oh.
Limerick.
Ravengard.
Ravengard is correct.
Oh, I forgot about Ravengard.
Deal.
The Damocles Gulf Crusade.
Yes,
That
it
was-
was.
That's what it
Now,
was.
now
It
here's
goes
here's
blah, blah,
the
blah.
here's the real test. Are we ready? This will redeem Limerick from being the super ultra hyper nerd for the rest of his life. What is the date stamp on that crusade?
Oh.
Is that you saying you do know it?
I think I'm a lot closer than I want to be.
Wait, okay. I was giving you a freebie to be like, I don't friggin' know. Why would you think I would know that? Now I'm gonna look up the Damocles Gulf Crusade.
Oh my god.
All right,
Yeah,
all right. Give me a date. Come on.
God damn it. I think it's like 642 M41.
If this is right, we're putting you in a dreadnought, Limerick.
It's 742 M41.
God damn it.
Oh my
You were off
God.
by a ditch. Fucking.
You're gonna do this till you're 90, Limmer.
I
You
I
can't help yourself.
hold information of the weirdest stuff so tightly.
I have
This-
concerns.
Limerick, you have a job, you have children, you
No,
have
no, no.
so many
No, no,
other
no.
commitments in your life.
Let me point out that this man's is going back to
Okay.
university to be a history teacher. He's going to teach them the history of the Imperium of Man.
Yeah.
Oh. This group is full of weirdos. Oh.
You
So
just
it's-
now figured that out?
The
No, I
hilarious
knew that.
the hilarious thing about the going back to teach the history of the Imperium of Man is whenever news happens that is like, oh, humanity's failing type thing on in the news, my joke is that I'm going to raise my 5-year-old son to just unify Earth and become the emperor.
That's good. All right.
Does that make you Malkador?
Sure, I don't mind going out the way he went. It wasn't exactly painless, but
But yeah, Raven Guard are known for their subterfuge and shadow tactics.
Bunch
Bunch
of sneaky bitches.
bunch of sneaky bitches, bunch of weird shit that brains can do with their bodies. You know, that just kind of gets used a couple
So-
times and they're forgotten about.
But none of it's enough to stop the Alpha Legion.
Oh my god.
the Raven Guard, because I feel like mentioning this because a lot of people go, well, how can you be stealthy and an 8-foot giant in 1,000-pound armor, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
One of the things that the Raven Guard are known for, and like the elite Raven Guard are known for, is removing
Really?
themselves from awareness.
Oh yeah, they do that thing.
I was gonna say like really good shock absorbers or something.
No, so Conrad Kurz. So okay, all Primarchs
Oh,
are made
boy.
of warp. No, I'm not going into deep stuff. So all of them
Okay.
have a gift of some sort. Not Conrad Kurz. That's the Night Lords. Who's the
Night Lords were the
Raven.
other sneaky bitches.
Who's the
Chorus
Raven-
Korvax.
Correct. His was that he literally could stand in front of you, and if he didn't want to be seen, you didn't see him. And because the Space Marines have the gene seed of the Primarch in them, they can unlock that similar feature. So they're stealthy in a way that, like, it's not that they're really any quieter than any other Space Marine chapter. They have shenanigans that just make you forget they're there.
Hmm.
It's the same as like technically all of the Blood Angels are prescient, which is where the Black Rage comes from because they're all trapped in Sanguinius's vision of how Sanguinius died. So
Yeah.
they freak out and they think everything they're fighting is Horus.
Yeah.
Too bad. Too soon. But yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for indulging me in this exercise. Limerick going perfect score on this one. Is definitely our winner today. Chris, got Chris with a close
Yeah,
runner up.
I don't feel like I'm a winner.
Congratulations, you are the biggest nerd.
You are the biggest nerd. I would like to. I promise. I had a fun time with this. I hope you had a fun time at home too. If you want to keep score yourself, let us know how all you did and all that stuff. I want to do more of this, of course. Next time, Colin, I'll make it multiple choice for you, and less thinking to go on. I
Oh
promise.
dear.
Change nothing.
Yeah, it was still really fun. I like
I'm
that.
really having a good time. I have an idea for like another one where it's like, I would just I would say like, is this quote from Trazen the Infinite or from Oregon the Divine?
Yeah.
I don't even know what those. I don't even know what those words are. Oh no.
You gotta brush up on your Necron lore.
Clowns in all of the Necrons.
Oh, is that like the
Oh.
collector guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Who
That's
also
right.
has the ability to teleport himself into any nearby Necrons when he's killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he just repossesses a new body and turns
Which
it into new
happens.
Trazen.
Which happens to him a lot because he steals stuff from the other Necrons a lot.
He steals stuff from everybody.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
But yeah, I look forward to doing this the next time. I think it was fun. Thank
We're
you guys.
gonna-
We
Really
hope-
fun.
We're gonna bring a trophy for the biggest 40K trivia nerd and give it to Coda at LVO.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so no, let's do this then. There's
Oh, boy.
a group of people here, right?
Oh, boy.
Like we're a group of people.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say so.
No, what is something that you guys want to know more about that, like, let's use my big brain for knowledge.
I want to find out how you managed to retain all of this, but you can't figure out how to operate Google Calendar properly.
Yeah, okay.
Priorities,
Yeah.
man.
God damn.
So you're not the only one wondering that. My wife has asked that several times too.
I feel like she would know. So,
No,
boy.
Well,
Yeah.
for myself, I think Colleen and I are going to have to find out a little bit more about falling asleep.
Yeah, I think that
Right
actually
now.
is going to be a good place to end our episode this week. Those of you listening at home, you'll notice that this came out on a Thanksgiving Thursday, which is weird. It's just because our recording timing got moved in order to accommodate American Thanksgiving. So we'll call this a special episode. There will be no episode the Monday after. So it'll be like 2.5 weeks for our next episode. Feel free to go back and re-listen. As a reminder, if you have stuff that you want to hear us talk about, if you have suggestions for like a trivia topic or anything like that, you can email us at blackstonefortresspodcast@gmail.com. We love getting viewer emails. Outside of that, happy Thanksgiving to the Americans. Happy Thursday to the Canadians. And we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Take good care of yourselves and stay awesome.
Bye.
I